Throughout history, roads have symbolized pathways to discovery, freedom, and adventure. But some roads carry a darker legacy, places where shadows linger longer than they should, and whispers ride the wind in the dead of night. These forgotten paths, often surrounded in mist and mystery, have earned reputations as the haunted roads, where the boundaries between the living and the dead blurred. It was a stretch of road that locals called it the Vanishing Miles. Few dared to travel it after dusk, and those who did never return quite the same. The road cut through the dense wood just outside of the town, barely lit by the occasional flicker of an old street lamp, most of which had not worked in years. Rosie was a skeptic. Tales of ghostly shadows and phantom headlights didn't faze her. So when her friends challenged her to drive the road alone at midnight, she accepted it with a laugh. Armed with her car, a flashlight, and her phone for proof, she set off just before the clock struck 12. The first mile was uneventful. Cracked asphalt and the soft hum of insects. Her headlights cut through the fog that seemed to thicken with every passing minutes. Then, as she passed a rusted mile marker with the faded letters, her radio crackled to life. Static hissed and whispering voice seemed to murmur her name. Rosie. She brushed it off as interference and turned the dial, but the whispers grew louder, overlapping and urgent. She shut the radio off. Silence. Further down, the road seems to stretch endlessly. Rosie checked her odometer. It wasn't moving. That's weird, she murmured, pressing harder on the gas. The fog shadowed her headlights, and the trees seemed to press closer, their branches like skeletal hands reaching for her car. A sign loomed ahead, battered and broken. Welcome to Mile End. But the letter shifted as she passed, flickering to Never End. Panic crept in. She turned the car around, heart pounding. But as she drove back, the sign reappeared, weathered and cracked in the exact same spot. Her hands trembled. She gripped the wheel tighter. She slammed the brakes and the car screeching to the halt. Ahead of her through the mist, headings blades. Two glowing orbs hovering in the distance, they didn't move. She honked, flashed her lights, but the car remained still. Curiosity and fear waged war inside her, but she stepped out, flashlight in hand. The air was unnaturally still. Not even the crickets dared to sing. She approached the headlights cautiously, her breath visible in the cold that seemed to gather around her. As she got closer, she realized there was no car, just the lights floating and flickering. She flared her flashlight around. Nothing. Nothing. She spun back to her car, but it was gone. Only the empty stretch of road stared back at her. Rosie turned, the flashlight slipping from her hands. There, standing just beyond the headlights, was a figure, its face obscured by shadows. Eyes reflecting the glow, it raised a hand, beckoning her forward. And that's when the whisper began again, louder this time, coming from all around her, chanting her name in unison. Her screams were shadowed by the fog, leaving only silence in their wake. They found her car the next morning, abandoned and rusted, covered in vines that had not grown there the night before. The road, as always, remained empty, waiting for its next traveler. Haunted roads like the Vanishing Miles are more than just fragments of local folklore. They are reminders for the humanity's deep rooted fascination with the unknown. Whether born from tragic events, restless spirits, or simply the horrible stillness of forgotten paths, these stories continue to captivate and terrify those who dare to listen. For some, they serve as a warning to stay away, while for others, they are irresistible call to explore the boundaries of fear and superstitions. But one thing is certain, long after the headlights fade and the fog rolls back into the woods, the legend remains whispered among those brave enough to travel these cursed roads and chisel into the memory of those who never returned. Because sometimes the most terrifying journeys are the ones that never truly end. Hope you like the video. Make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.